everyone, it's Holly and welcome to my 2015 look back. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I just woke up from a nap and I'm still tired. Do I even have my goals written down? Oh, this is so poorly done. No, where did it go? I accomplished most of my goals, sort of. Whatever, let's go. So the first one was, I did a whole video on this, and that was the 15 books I wanted to read in 2015. Now technically I DNF'd 2 of them, but whatever. I ended up reading 12. There are 3 I didn't read. I didn't read The Night Circus, what is that book called? The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson, and Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister by Gregory Maguire. But I feel like 12 was a pretty respectable number. Relatedly, I don't remember if I talked about this in my Bookish goals for 2015 or not, but I really wanted to get my TBR down and just make it, my goal was to get it under 50 and kind of keep it there. I would like it even lower, but that's fine. I have not gotten all my Christmas presents yet. Christmas is weird this year for me. I did get a lot of books though from my mother. I have not put those on my TBR shelf yet, and before any of that, I'm just at under 50, which I feel like is really good, especially since towards the end of the year there I kind of did buy a lot of books, so I'm pretty proud of myself. And I read a ton of the books that I bought, which was like a goal I sort of had in my head. Another goal I did not complete was reading, what is that book called? Blood of the Fold. I'm looking at it, my TBR shelf is behind my camera, is reading Blood of the Fold by Terry Goodkind. I said I wanted to read one of these every year. I read a chunk. I was reading a chunk every month. I had done that last year with Stone of Tears. I was doing that through June, July, and honestly I was forcing myself to read it. I was not enjoying it at all. So I ended up just deciding to stop forcing myself to read it, because I would just not read for days, because that would be the book I was reading and I wasn't enjoying it. And I would just be skimming it, and the only chapters I liked were the Kaylin chapters, and I was like, ugh. So I am disappointed that I didn't finish it, but I'm glad I didn't force myself to do something I didn't want to do. I'm not DNFing it right now. I think I'm just putting it on the back burner. Onto some more successful things. My Goodreads goal was, and will continue to be, to read 100 books. Now I was looking at this recently, so I think Goodreads has me at 140 something. I think I count me at a little over 150 because of rereads, so that's good. But I was looking, last year I read over 200, so I'm not really sure what that says, but I'm still very pleased with the reading year that I had. Ooh. And then I had sub goals. So I did want to read 5 big books. I ended up reading, I think 10 is what I have written down. So I feel like that's pretty good. Thank you, Rick Riordan, for writing big books for me. And then I wanted, okay, so that is done, throw it away. I did want to complete 15 series, and now I never went through and confirmed this, but based on, I feel like this is not true. Based on what I was writing down, I've completed 14, because I consider it complete series. I have read series up to publication, but 14 is still very good, especially some of these were from start to finish I read them. So do 10 rereads, which I did do. I ended up being able to do 11. Thank you, Serena Bowen. Praise to you for writing books that make me want to reread your previous books. I wanted to read, I think it was 15 new to me authors. Last year I had a similar goal and I blew it out of the water. I did that with this year too. I stopped keeping track of them. So I don't even know how many I ended up reading, and some of them were super great authors, so I'm so grateful. And then I wanted to read 5 classics or nonfiction, which I failed at last year, but I accomplished this year. I read 3 nonfiction books and 2 classics. The other goal I had was to do video reviews of 50% of the books that I read, and to do written reviews of 80% of the books that I read. And I kind of stopped keeping track of this. So I know I accomplished the written reviews one, because especially this second half of the year I've done a written review of almost every single book I've read. The reason I stopped keeping track of this is I have a ton of video reviews that I've done just between having time off and stuff that I just haven't gotten around to editing and posting. And so I feel weird, like, do I count that? Do I not count it? Whatever. Last time I checked, I think I was right around 40%. So I'm sure I'm somewhere in that area, like 40 to 50%. And I'm okay with that. And part of the reason I stopped keeping track, too, was I felt like I was forcing myself to review books that maybe I didn't want to review, or reviewing them in a different way. I don't know. I wasn't happy with that, and that's kind of what I'm going into this new year with, is I've done these kinds of goals for 2 years, and I want to try something different next year, and I want to focus on something different. And some of these will still show up. I am going to do a 2016 like bookish resolutions video. I would still love to accomplish all of these things, but I think that a lot of times it was like putting pressure on myself to do things I didn't want to do. And I'm just trying to change it. I'm trying to make my goals a little more fluid and also apply to both my life, like my personal life and my YouTube life, like connecting them and trying to work on some things. So even though I didn't accomplish everything that I wanted to in 2015, I feel like it was a good year. Like, I am not disappointed in myself at all. I think this is very good. I'm so proud, especially that I've really got my TBR down. It started off around 100 books, and I bought books like every month, and I was going to the library and getting ebooks for a while there, and it still went down, and then I read so many of the books that I was buying. So I'm very proud of myself from that perspective. I can't complain just because, you know, I didn't finish a couple goals. So those are my 2015 look back. And I am very excited for 2016. It'll already be 2016 when you see this, but I'm filming it before the end of the year. Tell me about any of your goals from last year or this upcoming year. Feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!